A mid-range phone with a 44 megapixel selfie camera, the Vivo V23e 5G aims high, and it's obviously a beautiful phone. Great design, some pretty good specs on paper, but first off, we have to say, we really do love the design of this phone and how it feels in the hand. It's ultra thin at just 7.36 millimeters with a lightweight design weighing 172 grams. Something about the ridges on the side rails meshes well with the back and the display, giving you a solid grip and maintaining overall smoothness without the typical rounded edges we get with most phones lately. It comes in two colors of Sunshine Coast like the one we have here and Moonlight Shadow. It is also 5G ready with Bluetooth 5.1. The AMOLED 6.44-inch screen gets really bright but has quite noticeable bezels around the sides and the bottom and comes at a standard 60Hz refresh rate. The flat-edge screen is always a favorite of ours, and we're glad to see it here while accommodating a teardrop design for the front camera. You get an optical under-display fingerprint reader which is snappy and mostly accurate, but occasionally misses some attempts. It's a common theme with Vivo phones to have their under-display fingerprint sensors placed very close to the bottom of the phone, which is slightly off-putting given how a natural resting thumb would be higher up. When it comes to the mono speakers, however, well, it's loud, but it lacks fullness. The V23e 5G comes in a triple camera construction consisting of a 50 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and 2 megapixel macro lens. But the biggest feature of this phone is its 44 megapixel front camera, aimed for users who enjoy taking selfies. It also comes with AI autofocus, however, this setting is not enabled out of the box, so you will have to jump to the settings and turn it on. It will, however, lose track of your eye if you're moving around too much, but then again, it's not made to track fast subjects anyways. Photos from the front camera are not as revolutionary as we'd hoped with a 44 megapixel sensor, as colors aren't that great. It comes off a bit too muted for our liking and is missing that vibrance you want out of a selfie. Sharpness otherwise is very detailed and manages well under sufficient lighting. Photos coming from the 50 megapixel camera are sort of underwhelming as well, translating the same issues of muted colors and vibrance that you get with the front camera. While HDR functions does help in making up for the washed out look in some photos, and while night mode does compensate exposures well, it just doesn't add up to its megapixel count and could probably have a lot to do with its processing capabilities. Nonetheless, it does come with fun features such as double exposure mode to capture these ghost-like effects that you can get really creative with, while adding the preset filters ready to be shared online right away. Video capture sadly only tops at 1080p at 60 frames per second with HDR functions turned on, which does pretty decently under outdoor settings, but may struggle with exposure compensations every now and then. Noise and grain will be more visible under low light scenarios and is probably the most undesirable part of this phone. Considering how 4K resolution has been the norm for most mid-range phones, we're not entirely sure why Vivo has opted to cap its camera performances short in the V23e. This may be to favor interest for their X series, focusing on more camera capabilities such as the X70 Pro, but we're just guessing. It does, however, come with a vlogging mode via dual view, allowing you to capture both yourself and the subject behind the camera simultaneously in a picture-in-picture kind of view. The Vivo V23e 5G runs on a MediaTek Dimensity 810 and octa-core Mali G57 with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. Our benchmark test recorded as 608 for single-core tests and 1814 for multi-core tests. It comes out of the box running on Android 11, but the FunTouch OS 12 based on Android 12 will be rolled out in stages for the different Vivo phone models in the coming months. It packs a 4050 mAh battery and comes with a 44-watt flash charger that would get you to 69% in 30 minutes. The Vivo V23e 5G retails for 1,599 ringgit. Either way, we were hoping for more out of the Vivo V23e 5G, and it's hard to find reasons to recommend this purely based on specs. It depends whether you see the glass as half full or half empty. That's all for now. We'll see you at the next one.